So we made it back yesterday from the Bahamas. It was a really great, wonderful trip. We flew into Nassau and stayed overnight there, went out to dinner at the old Poop Deck, which is a really famous spot by the bridge in downtown Nassau. And then the next morning we got on an airplane and flew Southern Air Charters to Stella, which is another 100-something mile trip, kind of over the Exuma Bank and all the way down to Long Island, which is way out offshore of the Bahamas. And that's like remote, right in front of the Atlantic Ocean. And we were there to do some research, look at the coral reefs to see how things were going. From Long Island, got some fuel there at the marina, boarded onto the yacht that we were traveling back from Long Island, Bahamas, all the way to Miami. It's about 435 miles. And had a nice lunch there in Long Island and got on the boat and tried to determine which direction to go. We saw Rum Cay off the way and Concepcion Island, which is famous for Christopher Columbus visiting many, many moons ago. We dropped anchor there for the night. It's very remote and saw some beautiful rocks and corals and lots of gorgonians and sea fans, and saw different types of boulder corals and Porites corals. It wasn't really the impact zone where I might see elkhorn and staghorn. It was the backside. So we're typically anchoring at night on the backside of the islands in the lee side of the wind on the seas coming at us from the Atlantic. And I ended up cooking the entire trip. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 6 of us. Love to cook seafood and go down there and catch it as well. We spent the night offshore of Concepcion Island and then went across about 40-some miles over to the Exumas, to areas that I have never been before, and went ahead, got some good look at the bottom of the floor. Had Nick and Dylan were with us, and we went ahead and anchored up there and did the same thing again. We're gonna go snorkeling and diving. On Concepcion Island, we didn't even see a single lionfish. That's how far off and remote it is from the rest of the bank. So the next morning we went 43 miles directly west to the Exumas, and again did the same thing. Snorkeled around, saw beautiful blue tangs, saw a whole bunches of royal grammas under the ledges, saw a really nice reef shark, big stingrays. Even there I shot a nice lobster for dinner and brought that back to the boat, and again was cooking up a really great lobster dinner. And then we stayed inshore in a nice little pass for the evening on the backside of the islands of the Exumas, then took the inside route across the bank of Exumas up towards Pig Beach. Jolene had always wanted to go to Pig Beach and see the pigs swimming in the ocean, which was super cool. We had some leftover bread, we had some apples, so we sliced up some apples, and Jolene was actually teaching the pigs how to sit. So from Chub Cay the next morning, we determined we're gonna head all the way back from Chub. It's about 18 miles to the corner of the pocket, 71 miles to Bimini, and then Bimini across to Miami. It was about 140 miles. So we made that route all in one day, and it was very interesting. You know, I was expecting maybe I might see some areas of bleached out dead corals from the superheat event this year, and I really didn't see that. I think that because the water's so deep and so blue over there with deep eddies, and so you have upwellings of currents. Here off of Florida, we've had a lot of devastation with the hot water coming from Florida Bay, outgoing tide over Sombrero Reef and places like that, where it just is annihilating even the coral aquaculture that's going on with Coral Restoration Foundation, Reef Renewal, Moat Marine, and the rest of the groups that are doing restoration efforts there. But we didn't see that on this trip in the Bahamas, which was encouraging. So we were excited to go on this nice little sojourn to do some snorkeling and have some fun on the open ocean. And we made it back towards the city of Miami with the sun setting, just a beautiful sunset on the flat seas, and made it in sometime around the dock around 10 p.m., stayed another night on the boat, and then back at it again, playing with fish bowls. Remember to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.